Hey folks, how you doing? Well, we went another night and they're back, but I think I'm learning some things along the way, so I want to share that with you. But before we do that, I do want to mention I did go online last night and I ordered, I think it's called Cayenne pepper. It's going to be here Friday, which I think is in 2 days, so I'm going to try that. But tonight what I'm going to do is just going to spray where they've got the tunnels tonight with the deterrents, and then push them all down again. And then we'll try the cayenne pepper later. And I feel like they're starting to move away. Like they're not coming back to the same spots, but I'll talk about that later. Somebody had recommended castor oil, which basically is like giving X-lax to these things, so it's supposed to make them move away. But I wasn't, like, castor oil I know is natural, I just wasn't sure. It talked about it, you know, it's an oil, so it can spontaneously combust. So, you know, that was only if you soak it in rags. But I wanted to do a little research on the castor oil, and they're talking about mixing just like a few tablespoons with a little bit of dish soap and a gallon of water. So the stuff must be pretty strong. But let's show you what happened last night. So if we start over here, they're back in this little run, which I'm not gonna, well, I'll push it down a little bit. They're definitely back here. So they went around all my allium glaucum again. The lawn over here between the two beds, you know, there's the main runway, but they're starting to kind of spread out in the lawn. We got some here, we got some here. So I'll go over the lawn again. Back over here, you know, they came, I'm not really sure where they came from, but I pushed this trail down last night, and you know, they're popping out by the bee balm again, and I did push this one down last night as well. Looks like they came back over here as well. Little exit hole over there. Not sure if that's a vole or a mouse. Maybe the one good thing is I don't see any fresh activity underneath the mountain laurel there. And then over here, you know, I came out around 10 o'clock last night, and by 10 o'clock they had already come back and made this, you know, made this stand out, and it looks like they came back again. When I came out last night, I had a flashlight, and I just came around the front door and shined the flashlight in front of those boxwoods there, and there was a mouse out there that was like, whoa, and it just scurried under the porch. But apparently there's some mice out here as well. So they're not back at the sedum. They left the sedum alone. Yeah, these are all good. But they did, you know, I'm not really sure where exactly they start coming from, but underneath the oil fill there's a bulge. And what they did last night is they're tunneling this way. And, you know, again, it's amazing how good these guys are, because they tunneled right to my leucothoe. And there's the exit hole right underneath the leucothoe. I mean, if these guys aren't voles, they're going right for all the plants. And then they have a tunnel over here as well. So I think what I can take from this is either they're expanding where they're moving to find new food sources, or I am bothering them a little bit and they're moving on. So my plan for now is basically I'm probably gonna just get both of those sprays I used, the peppermint spray, and then there was like a pepper or rosemary and peppermint spray all the tunnels. I'll go ahead and pack them all down again, And we'll just keep doing that, and it'll be a battle of wills, I guess. Couple stories I just want to share with you folks. The first story is maybe 6 years ago, I don't remember exactly. We had like one of the snowiest winters, you know, in my lifetime, where we had like 3 feet of snow on the ground. And I was driving, if you live in Trumbull, Connecticut, the Nichols Library used to have like a really big lace leaf maple in front of it. The thing was probably 8 to 10 feet in diameter, 5 to 6 feet in height, and it was red. I mean, the thing would have been worth thousands of dollars if somebody wanted to transplant it. But after this really snowy winter, I had a customer in that area, and I was driving down to their house, and I remember, actually I think I went for a walk, and I went by the library, and the bottom 6 inches of this maple was completely stripped of bark, like completely. There was no way. I don't really, like, it was a while ago. I remember feeling bad for the maple, but I mean, there was no way that this maple was going to survive. Once trees lose their bark, that's where the xylem and the phloem, those are the live parts of a tree. So that's how they get their water and their food up. So I guess I want to say that, while I may be having fun with this and playing with it, I do understand voles, can be a serious pest. The other story I want to share is when I was about 15 years old, I had a job as a helper for an older gentleman, and I would just do whatever chores he needed. Mow the lawn, planted a few trees, they had some chickens I helped take care of. But one of the things was they did have moles back then, and so it was my job to go out and step on all the mole trails, and then they had these, like, this thing you would squish it down, and then you would have this spring activated device with like a pressure plate you'd put on top, so when the moles came back, when they pushed the soil up, these really sharp spikes would come down. It was like, I know there's plenty of, and people have recommended, traps like that. There's different versions. They're made of plastic now. And I want to say I know, and I mean, maybe it'll come to that, I try to work with nature, not against her. But I mean, these voles, all they're doing is trying to find a meal. And the story I guess I liken it to is, if I go work at somebody's house all day, on the way home, I'll usually stop at a convenience store or a gas station and buy like a candy bar and a thing of soda. And it's just like my treat for the day. And I just imagine somebody being like, they don't want humans on the planet, and putting like a convenience store with a sign that says, free candy bars or sale on candy bars, and walking into this convenience store and having a spring trap come down on me. It's kind of the same to me, where the voles are just trying to do what comes natural to them and get some food. And again, I know there's times, if you have a landscape with a ton of expensive plants, which I may, you don't want them to eat the roots, but I want to try to go, non-lethal to start and see where they end up. But unfortunately, I think they're probably just going to end up farther away from the house. I mean, I don't think they're ever going to be like, you know what, this is a bad spot, that guy doesn't like us, so we're just going to move a few houses away where there's an open, abandoned field or something. But anyways, I will go ahead and spray first, step on all the tunnels, and we'll keep you posted. All right, folks? Take care.